Hello and welcome to the Miscast table, the Miscast podcast. And this time we're all four of us. We have Andrea, Martin, and Jonas, and me, myself, Måns. How are you guys feeling?
Good.
Good?
Yeah, fine. It's
Yeah.
been 2 hectic weeks.
Yeah. And I mean, the last one we released, it was the worst video we probably ever released in terms of views. So we need to do another one. I feel like the people demand it.
Absolutely.
So-
But there's been plenty of like good news lately, so there's actually like warranted to release a new podcast episode, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
We thought about talking a little bit about tournaments.
Tournaments. Yeah, we have our boys trip where we go twice a year down to Falun, leave the wives and the children. We have gone now, is it 3 times? 4 times?
It must be more. I've been there
4. 3.
3, but
And
I
I've
missed
been,
1.
yeah, so I've been there 4.
Yeah.
And you guys have been there
3.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you two in the middle missed the first one and
Yeah.
Andrea missed the last one.
Yeah.
So you are the most experienced tournament.
I am, so I'm gonna explain to you guys how things work here today. No, but we played a few tournaments. We played both in Falun, which is like a trip we take twice a year, but we also played different tournaments. And today we might talk a little bit about what you should think about the tournaments and
the
how it
reasons
works
why
and-
you should go as
yeah, stuff like that.
So the first question, why? Why go to a tournament? Why do you feel you should go on a tournament?
Måns. I think the obvious reason is because it's fun, of course. But one of the great things about going to a tournament is how much you grow during like a tournament. You become so much better. Like after we went to the first big tournament in Falun, me and Andrea, and that was like 5 games over 2 days. But after that trip, I was such a much better player. Like it was insane. I became so much better during those 2 days. So I think you grow a lot as a player going to the tournaments.
Yeah, since you switch up opponents,
Yeah.
you're not stuck in the same group where house rules have become implemented and you know exactly what the units do and so on. You have to challenge yourself.
Yeah, and you also have to go outside of the meta. Like we when we started playing, I would argue that we had different ideas on what were really strong in 8th.
Yeah.
Like we were pretty confident that cannons was amongst the worst things in 8th at one time. And then it evolved into magic being strong, and now we have this kind of like more dynamic.
And playing in your own meta becomes kind of stale. Like if you tell me that you're gonna bring an ogre army, I can probably guess like 90% of your units.
Yeah.
And when you play against new players, that is not the case. So you get to see a lot of other things.
Am I wrong, or was almost the first time that you, Martin, played Warhammer Fantasy? Wasn't it the first time at a tournament? I think it.
Yeah,
Is
one of the first times.
One of
yeah,
the
it
first
might be.
time you ever played Warhammer Fantasy was in a tournament setting.
Yeah, and
Or
I think
very close to.
that day I faced up against
Yeah.
you and everything went right. So Jonas thought that Beastman in 8 was like the strongest
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, but you got like that transformation spell off that nobody plays nowadays.
The
And you
Kadon.
just- Yeah,
no,
and
not Kadon. Where you
uh,
summon a beast.
yeah, the wizard turns
And
into
tail
a monster.
Yeah, but that is transformation of Kadon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he turned the wizard into a gorgon, and he just massacred everything. You had like 10 attacks
Yeah,
per
yeah.
turn.
Yeah, that
And-
was nasty. I've never pulled it off since.
Yeah.
So it's a
And you
one
also
and done.
got the blood forest, and it just went around wrecking my ogres on the flank.
Yeah, but that was a good impression for me, not so good for you. And then
I had fun.
yeah,
I had really fun.
after that it went downward with Beastman. I'm a notoriously bad player with Beastman. I don't have the dice on my side.
You're not a bad player. You can't make a leadership role to save your
No,
life.
no,
that is the
that's-
problem.
that's-
Like
They are very based on that.
But if that's the first time that you went and you started basically playing with a tournament, did you remember how it felt? Did it felt like it was too much, scary? The feeling of
I would
just
say it was
thrown into a game and it's a tournament.
it was too much to remember, too much to take in at once. So I was pretty knackered at the end of the night. But and I couldn't remember. I felt like I had amnesia for some large parts of the day. Like you were just in the. If you're not used to the thinking, the calculating, and everything, the time just flies by and you won't remember it. So that was my first experience, but I'm still here.
That's what I didn't want to prove a point, but I felt like that's one of my first things I would say when you go to a tournament is make your list and play it before you go. So when you come to the tournament, you know your list. Then I think it's more fun when you know your own list and you know all the units, so you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Or do anyone feel otherwise?
No, I think that's an important part, and it's not only because it makes for better experience for you, but it also makes for a better experience for your opponent. Like it's I wouldn't say it's not fun, but it's less fun to play with someone who has to check the rules all the time for like every phase. There becomes no like flow to the game.
Yeah.
So it is more fun to play with someone who knows the rules really well. And if you want to do well in a tournament, it's a must. You need to know your rules and need to know your units and have play your list. Otherwise, I don't think you can do well.
Would it be our tip number 1? Know your list.
Yeah.
Like the back of your hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of moments where you should be forced to look at the army list or the army book. You should like know all the special rules and when they happen and so on. That saves a lot of time and it feels like a better flow.
Yeah.
I would kind of like to add on to that. I think that you should know like the basic model stats. Like you should know what an elf has for stat lines, what does an orc has for stat lines, human. And if you know the baselines, then it's kind of easy to learn the rest of your singular army. Like if I know that my ogres have 4/4, then I might be able to remember that my man-eaters have 1 additional strength. Easier.
I like to, before I go to a tournament, if I had the time, I would make my list and then, if I could, play every army that exists with that specific list. But I never have that time.
Yeah.
But I think it's quite few people that have like a local scene with every army. We have it, but but I don't think everyone has that luxury.
No, but like if you don't have every army, as many as possible at least. I never get to it because of time. Getting in 13 matches, it takes almost a year.
Yeah.
But it's good playing against different, and then it's almost come naturally. If you play against human, you play against an elf, you play, then naturally you will remember base 3.
But if you have 10 games below your belt with the same exact army, no changes, then you're all set.
Yeah,
I would say you're beyond good.
I usually
have a
get
lot
5
of
games.
Yeah, something like that, and then you change the army. Like you play one game, you make some changes and stuff. And I have a lot of things we can talk about with list building. But I think that is like an episode of its own. You can go very deep into that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But know your list. I think that is very important. What's the other things you should think about?
Packing. Like how you organize. Yeah, how you organize your army to bring to the table and how you move around the venue. Like get a good setup, because you're gonna switch tables a lot and you're gonna move the armies from time to time, and sometimes the table you're gonna play on next is not available, so you want to have quick and easy access to all your dice, trays, everything. Like what are they called? The templates.
Yeah.
I like having different color dice.
Yeah.
Like having 10 dice in one color, 20 dice in one color, 5 dice in a third color. Because when you play in a tournament, you are going to think about so much. So standing for 8 hours counting dice is
You don't want to waste your energy.
You don't want to waste energy on 1, 2, 3, 4. If you know, okay, I have that's 5, that's 10, 15. Let's go.
Yeah, I have 20 blue dice. Pick up all the blue dice. 20 attacks.
That I like that.
Yeah, when we pack our stuff in both the IKEA stuff, what are they called?
Kugis.
Kugis, yeah, we
Yeah.
pack those.
Learning
Jonas
some
put,
Swedish.
yeah, Jonas put that on the channel, how we pack with those, but we also use this like for, I think they're for like berries
Potatoes,
or
berries.
potatoes maybe, yeah, like these big
before
boxes.
it's for berries and potatoes.
Yeah.
With plastic big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plastic stuff. And one fun thing about packing, we went to Dalaslaget, and then we were going home, and it was middle of the night. You remember this? And then a moose came up on the road,
Yeah.
and Andrea was driving, and he had to brake really, really hard not to hit the moose.
Yeah.
And we heard from the back, like, all the boulders just flying, because we had packed them well, but we hadn't really prepared for that kind of.
No. That's another thing. Like, since I started magnetizing the trays and the models,
Yeah,
it's also you have to pick them up and put them back on. There's a lot of fippling with the models, so you want to have quick and sturdy trays.
Yeah, absolutely. And also packing, it's important to remember what things do you really need. Like get your army books out, rule book,
Mark
papers
with small post-it notes on the important pages.
yeah. Most tournaments require that you print out your army list, that you have the army book, that you have the rule book, and some tournaments also require that you have the spell cards. So you should check what you need to bring. Otherwise, you might get problems when you get there.
The spell cards is almost must-have, I would say, because you want to place them on the unit that you cast the spells on.
If you
want
don't
to
have
it totally visible.
If you don't have spell cards, at least have like a small note with the spell.
Yeah, post-it note.
Post-it
The
note.
effect.
So you can remember. Okay, I put this spell on. I it might even be a. One tip is read the tournament document.
Yeah.
Read the tournament document before you pack, because they might have what do you say, requirements. Like one of those requirements may be a way to mark your spells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So read the requirements of the tournament would be maybe number 2.
yeah.
number one.
That is a great.
small tip I got from, I think it was from Jonas, to get counters, like wound counters. So you don't have the dice you're gonna roll to wound or to hit.
Mhm.
Don't have the same color or size.
Because
for
you
the
always
wound
pick them up.
markers, because you want to pick them up after you rolled and clean the table, and you might want to place them in rows of 10 so you have fast access. But it's so easy to pick up a wound marker if it's not totally different. I've made that mistakes so many
Same here.
times, and it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, it probably took me like 3 tournaments to learn it.
Yeah.
And I even used the bigger casino dice. And I still just get into the mindset when I was planning the rest of the
Especially when you're thinking, I just pick up stuff when I'm thinking,
Clean
and I just
tables.
play with dice and stuff, and all of a sudden all my wound counters are gone, and it's so easy to forget. But let's talk a bit about like the atmosphere at a tournament. Like, it's a great way to learn, but it's also incredibly fun. Like, to meet people who like the same thing, to see cool armies, like all of that is so much fun. We got to know a lot of people throughout tournaments in Sweden, and especially since the scene in Sweden is it's not small, but it's not huge either, and most people like know each other a little bit.
I
So
was a little bit scared the first time, because I do a lot of hassling on like eBay.
He scams people.
Scam. I can be pretty harsh. Then you need to sell this sheep to me.
Yeah.
So,
You negotiate.
I negotiate hard. But yeah, everyone was nice.
Yeah.
And
it's-
as you said, cool armies. Like, we don't just go to Falun, we go to Lycksele, Umeå, like the sort of local scene, but the level of painting on some armies, or pretty much all, but some stand out a lot more. You get inspired by going to tournaments.
Always when we were on the ride home from Falun, that's like a 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
We start to talk about new armies we want to
Next
build, new
list.
lists,
Yeah,
and you get so inspired by seeing
Yeah.
everything that the entire 10-hour trip home is just talking about the next project.
I think
Yeah.
I've slept once,
Yeah.
like for an hour, then it was my turn to ride.
But it's really fun to when we went to the tournament where we met the Skellefteå people the first time in Umeå,
Yeah.
and there was two Empire armies, and they had those really cool alternating like Robotica steam tank models,
Yeah.
and the Orcs and Goblin player. I really should remember their names, but you get so inspired when you see everything.
Yeah, you get
And,
incredibly inspired.
It's also kind of nice, like just playing the game is kind of like an icebreaker, because my experience when we go to the tournaments where it's new, like everyone like is in their own group at first, and then you get your first game, and then it's almost like your friends. You're starting vibe already, and if you're playing a nice person, you can almost like tell from the get-go if I'm gonna get along with this player, off the like afterwards as well.
Yeah. And when you go to tournament now, it's like meeting old friends
Yeah.
a lot of the time. So it's
It's
a lot of
we're
fun.
all there on the same premises. This is a weekend just for the best hobby ever, to get away for 2 days and just have a lot of fun. And I haven't met a single one yet that's been unpleasant to play against.
No.
I really haven't.
And it's a fun thing to do with friends as well. I mean, we go away for a weekend, sleep at a hotel, and
Yeah.
hang out and
Watch
play
TV.
Warhammer, watch
Yeah.
Wheeler Dealers at the hotel room, and it's great fun. It's one of the two best weekends of the year for
Yeah.
sure. I think it's amazing.
And it's so easy in a way. Not that you have to plan ahead, but still when you're going away, even if it's a long weekend, it's just fun, and the premise is just to play Warhammer, be on time, not
Yeah.
a lot of responsibilities around it, and it's
Yeah.
relaxing in a way.
Yeah.
So like something like a way to socialize, or what are we summarizing it as?
No, I'd say that meet
It's a
new people
great-
with the same interests and make connections. Like both you can buy and sell. You can't
Yep.
scam people,
Yeah.
you know, Andrea, but
Can always try to scam
yeah,
someone.
and stuff like that. So you expand your like network of like-minded people.
Maybe we can also say that if you haven't gone to a tournament and you're interest going, but you don't want to take the step, one thing is to go without playing. You could
Yeah.
just go there and visit. If you don't have that far, that's perfectly good. I could go to Dalaslaget and just watch the tournament and still have fun.
Yeah. But I think like if you're on the fence, you should go.
Yeah. Just
It's
look.
so much fun. You're not gonna be disappointed. I don't think so. It's so much fun, and we've gone for a few times now to like the bigger tournaments, and I think every year we get just better and better.
Yeah.
We perform better. We know the rules better. We have better like strategies, and I don't think we would have gotten as far and become as now it sounds like we're like gods of Warhammer 8th edition, but we've gotten a lot better because of the playing in tournaments, and I think that is the biggest reason why we have improved. Really.
Yeah. Can we break it down to pointers? What to think about? First, I would say would be read the tournament requirements.
Yeah.
Second, logistics, Second, know your army, play your army before you go. Make a list and play the list many times, and if possible, against different armies.
Yeah.
Third, think about the packing, and think that you. Even if the day is long, between the matches, the time goes so fast.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have to think about. You want to think about as little as possible, except your games. So having a good tray, keep your dice, know where your things are. It's actually more helpful than you think to just keep stuff.
Like
alive.
just don't bring. Well, you have those kind of bags where you pack stuff in foam. But it's very good for transporting.
Yeah.
But it's awful when you're at the tournament because you don't want to pack everything back into those and then move it to a new table. Like you want something you can like
You
a
can
tray
have,
or
you
something.
can have that foam thing, but you need a big tray too, so that you can almost have the army done and move it around.
To and from tournaments is the foam way. But
I guess it's a given, but we maybe say an army Warhammer Fantasy, you need trays.
Yeah,
movement
I
trays.
think
Movement
so.
trays.
Movement
that's
trays
a
for sure.
requirement in some tournaments as
Okay.
well. if it's over 3 models, you have to have a tray for fast movement. But
Yeah.
I would say in the logistics way, keep a water bottle, keep some snacks, have something to like boost, because it doesn't always align with your, what do you call it, like
Your
rhythm of
bodily
your
schedule
stomach.
or something, yeah.
Yeah.
And you
It-
get, we haven't talked about that, but you get incredibly tired,
3
And-
matches in
yeah.
one day, you get tired.
incredibly hungry.
I have always wondered if that's maybe only us.
I
Yeah,
don't think so.
I think because sometimes I feel like some other people at the tournament, they don't feel exhausted at all, and
Yeah.
we are from the northern part of Sweden.
yeah.
And to be fair, we are not used to being around a lot of people at the same time. At least I'm not. I'm sitting in an office all day. I meet like 2 or 3 people a day.
Yeah, I
Something.
meet a lot of people, but I'm still tired.
Still tired, but some of the people at the tournament, they don't feel like they get tired at all.
No.
But I get super tired.
Yeah, I remember when we went the first time, all of the other players were gonna go out and like eat something and take a beer. Me and Andrea were so tired. We went and bought 1.5 kilos each
Yeah.
of like a salad stuff.
Yeah.
And then we bought cookies. I bought
Yep.
4 big cookies, and you bought 2 like
Semlor.
semlor. It's like a Swedish pastry.
Yeah.
And we ate all of it in the bed, and then we just fell asleep. It was like 8 o'clock at night.
It was glorious.
That was not
Yeah.
just the first time, because
No.
what was
Yeah.
it? 3 months ago we went,
Yeah,
and Jonas went out to the pub,
yeah.
and me and Mons went to Subway and bought like a foot long and
Yeah.
chips.
Ate it in bed, and then we fell asleep before Jonas came home.
Yeah, I think it was like 8:50 something. I called my wife.
Yeah.
Said I was in bed ready.
Yeah, we were extremely tired. So you get very tired, you get pretty hungry, so bring like water,
Yeah, some
snacks,
energy
yeah.
boosters.
And if you have a long drive and are thinking about driving home late at night, maybe take a night at the hotel.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you have a long drive, choose your friends that you go with.
Yeah.
Have to be strategic.
Yeah.
Andre couldn't come last time.
No, he wasn't allowed to come last time. It was so quiet in the car. It
Yeah.
was fantastic. Me and Martin got to sleep this time around. So
Yeah, I think so. And we
Totally
didn't
lame.
get scammed on the way.
no, we didn't get scammed.
No Moses.
No, so but it's great fun. I must say.
You need to go.
Yeah.
You need to try a tournament in whatever game you play. If you can, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so too.
I would say I know one of my earliest fears with going to a tournament was that I didn't want people to look, watch me play, because I felt embarrassed by doing so many mistakes. But people are there to help. I haven't met a community that is so eager to spread the knowledge. No, this is the way it's meant to be played, and they show you the rules and they explain it. So that's why you learn so much, because people are so eager to get everything right,
Yeah.
and not in a cocky way or
In some way,
Weird.
if a player is really good, it's I would say and you are not good.
No.
If you're actually bad at playing and you're meeting a good player at the tournament, he will teach you.
Yeah,
It's not like
definitely.
he will not try to beat you. He will
No.
he will try to actually make a fair game.
But he will win either way.
He will
but,
win. He will win. He will win, but he will win in a fair way.
Yeah. Most likely, it switches from being a game where you're on the same premise to like the upper hand player trying to teach as much as possible.
Yep.
And most likely, I've been in like tournament games where it's points divided, but they still take the time to explain, like, I move this unit because.
Think of this.
Yeah.
I have done this because of maybe something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also like you don't have to be afraid of making mistakes. Like no one's gonna get angry at you as long as it's just a mistake. And I mean, all the time when I'm playing against an opponent and I forget the rule, I'm like, how does this work? And you get help from your opponent, and that's no problem. Like people ask each other rule questions all the time, and if you don't know, you just go to the table next. Do you guys know how this works? And it works out. But I think all of us have made mistakes in tournament games and then realized after,
Yeah.
I played this wrong. And if you play it to your disadvantage, that's fine. But sometimes you do mistakes we play to your advantage,
Yeah.
and that also feels shitty.
It
Yeah,
feels worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you have that happen against you as well, and at least when we're playing, no one really takes offense. Like
I
it
think
happens.
it's impossible.
Yeah.
I think it's impossible to play a flawless tournament.
You can't.
But that might be a point to make as well, because the rules does state that if you are uncertain of the rule and you are on a clock, don't waste too much time on a single problem or rule either. Like ask the opponent, ask the neighboring table, ask a judge. But if you like are on the clock, then it might just be the time and place to roll a die 3+. It is the one way, and then you can look it up afterwards.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that it ain't a boxing match. There ain't 40 people watching one table. At most, if you play a long game, some tables have ended and you have 2 or 3 people looking at the game for like 10 minutes, talking about it, and then they move on. So there isn't an audience in that scene.
No. But one point to make is after you've played a game, try to recap it with your opponent. Not everyone might be inclined to do so, because if you have had a really bad game, it's kind of hard to dwell on it. But I think that it's sometimes nice to get a pointer from my opponent if I have made something suboptimally, to go through what do you think was the strong sides of this game or key moments, and that's fun for me at least. Like going through and recapping.
Yeah, you can always ask, do you feel that I did any big mistakes?
Yeah. Or
strategic mistakes.
Yeah. Or was this an unlucky occurrence, or do you think that this was the correct play?
Because it is a great place to get better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And maybe the most important one of them all, have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun.
Everybody there is there for they like playing the game, and they're not there to stomp on you or anything.
No.
It's everyone just play and have fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And don't go if it is your first tournament. Don't go in with the expectation to win, because some people are really good. The first time me and Andrea went, we got pretty stomped, but the last few times we've gone, it's gone quite well for most of us.
But wasn't Robert one of the viewers of the channel? Didn't he go the first time and he just won it all with
Yeah,
Orcs and
yeah,
Goblins on?
he did.
He like
He's
watched a
the
bunch of
exception
battles.
to the rule, maybe.
Yeah.
Exception to the rule.
Yeah, but it was so awesome to see him play at the tournament as well. Like, why did he play it that?
He studied a million battle reports and then he went and on it. So.
But that brings us just the aspect of having fun. Do you have any core memories, like the best tournament memory you have, or the most fun, the worst? Do you have something that sticks out, that pops into your head right now?
You already know what my worst is. It was when I overran with my witch elves into a forest, and I took a dangerous terrain on the Cauldron of Blood, and rolled I failed the ward save, and then I rolled a 6 on the wound, and it insta died. And I lost
the worst.
I lost 0-20
It
that
can't
game.
be the worst.
That
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
it
the
can be.
worst. I lost 0-20 that game. It was horrible. All of it was horrible.
I think it was pretty much at the exact same time we were playing. I had my sort of worst. I cast what's it called? The spell that sucks down in the initiative test.
It's
Dwellers from below.
no, it's
Purple Sun,
called
Purple Sun.
yeah.
Yeah. And I played against the Chaos Dwarf army. I lined up my Demon Prince
Oh yeah.
straight through everything, and I rolled a miscast, so I only hit my Demon Prince, and I rolled a 6 on the initiative test.
Sucked into the warp.
And I got sucked into the wall. First turn.
Yeah,
That's the
kind
first thing that happened. That was my rough start.
A good thing there, and worth mentioning, is that don't dwell over things.
No.
If it goes wrong the first turn, a tournament is long. Even though you might start off bad, you just have to have a mindset to release it and maybe not complain on it.
No.
You shouldn't blame the dice. You shouldn't blame anything like that. You should just try to move on, because it's gonna be much easier for you to focus on the next thing that's gonna happen, and it's gonna be much more pleasant for the opponent if you don't
Exactly.
whine on the dice.
And you can still like place pretty well even if you lose some matches.
Yeah.
Like this time but the time before that, I lost one game and I played one equal and won 2 and I placed third. And this year I won 4 and lost 1 20-0 and I still came third.
Yeah.
So even if you have like one bad result,
Yes.
that doesn't mean that you're out of the game. Maybe you're out of like first place, but you can still place incredibly well, even though you get stomped 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Don't let
See,
it get on
yeah.
your skin.
see the fun in it.
Yeah.
Like, I had more bad
Yeah.
bad things happen, but just take 2 minutes, laugh it off, go get a drink, something, get back and get on with it.
Yeah. Then you have much better chance actually getting a good result if you can take, because
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna
Definitely.
happen. We are playing Warhammer. You're gonna see a wizard get eaten up by a miscast. You're gonna see some unit fleeing for nothing. It's just gonna happen. So it's so important to just let it go, focus on something else, because overall, it's gonna go better that way.
Yeah. Actually, I have many good memories, but I have one that I'll cherish, sort of. In the middle of, I think it was the first game of the second day, and we were just like, should we take 2 minutes, get a drink or something? Yeah, absolutely. And we went and we bought drinks, got back, and we just sat and looked at the venue. Everyone playing, hear all the chit chats, and just looking at and feeling the space, like the hype in the room.
Yeah.
Because you're so focused on your own table, to just take a minute and look around you. That was one of the best memories of the last time I went.
Yeah.
Not my playing or anything, just the whole venue, the aura. That was super nice.
Yeah, it is a certain like thing in the air
Yeah.
when you're at the tournament.
It is.
One thing that we forgot to talk about when we started this podcast today, that is, what do you guys have on your painting tables right now? We forgot to talk about that.
Oh,
And maybe Andre can start, since he
I didn't.
is...
Yeah, I missed the first episode. I'm painting Lizardman. To be more specific, I'm painting skinks and Teto Echo, because I'm making a list for the next tournament, and I want to have Teto Echo in it.
That's gonna be cool. We're gonna be playing that at the Dalaslaget.
Yeah, pretty sure it's gonna be. No, it's gonna be Lizardman at Dalaslaget. It has to. If it's 4 other Lizardman armies, I take something else. But I'm currently playing Lizardman.
I think they can be quite strong.
I love the leadership, cold-blooded. 3 dice, remove the highest.
It's so strong.
Yeah,
It
I,
is.
It's actually not that strong if you have low leadership. Like if you have leadership 5, then it's roughly on par with being 2 dice leadership 7.
yeah, but yes, they have
pretty
like
nice.
As soon as you pick in like 1 additional leadership, or you have the Lord nearby, then it's incredibly strong.
Yeah, but you usually have the Lord
Yeah.
somewhere around. So I like them. I like playing them.
Yeah, and Teto Echo is a really cool hero. I think he's probably one of the few, because most characters in Warhammer 8th edition isn't really point efficient most often.
the named characters.
The named
Na- na-
characters.
na- yeah.
named
One of the name characters that I think actually is worth
it.
the points.
Teto Echo, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's
I-
really good.
I think I saw that you were painting Cetra.
Yeah, I'm painting Cetra and 3 Tomb King's chariots. So I'm getting on with my Tomb King's army. I am gonna play High Elves in the next tournament, but I just need some time to relax from the freaking what are they called?
Lord
Lord and
Yeah.
Sea Guard. Jesus
The
Christ!
crests and
Yeah.
robes and everything.
I
And
think that
painting
elves
Tomb Kings
the
is
worst.
so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy. So it's Cetra and 3 Tomb King's chariot on the painting table for me right now.
Anybody who says that, okay, I'm gonna do an elf army, have fun.
Think twice. Yeah, for sure. What are you painting, Jonas?
I have moved on from the bloodletters, and now I'm trying to get a batch of what do you call harpies.
Harpies.
And I also want to try to find some demonettes to make the second core unit. But they're kind of hard to come by.
Yeah. But I think your army is going to be a lot of fun when it's done.
Yeah,
You have an interesting plan, so I'm looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
it.
Also interesting name characters. I really like the what is called Skull Taker and the what's the Slaanesh called? The Mask.
Now,
Yeah.
Really, really interesting.
what is it that Mask does?
You can choose to reduce stat lines on opposing characters
Yeah.
in nearby,
Yeah.
and it has a disgusting ward save of 4+ from the get-go.
So you place it like behind the unit that you're...
Yeah, and I think it can actually it's kind of high variance if you decide to go into melee with it, but I think you need to because it's not free.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to painting the characters. They are like the reward when you're finishing up all the
The
Chaff.
big units, yeah.
I have met the masked, and if you play the masked character right, it's tough.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like and just the option that you can get whatever you need when you need it. It's
Mm.
like a toolbox of nasty stuff.
Yeah.
It's
It
strong.
works against every unit because you can reduce
Yeah.
different stat lines.
Yeah, and leadership is always nice to reduce.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll see how it works out.
how it works. Yeah.
Martin's painting table. I walked by the house one day and I saw that the lights were on, so I know you have something on the table.
Yeah, I do, but it's currently not Warhammer related. I'm also taking a break, so I'm actually doing what's it called, a boat from my
Oh,
yeah, a pretty large boat, but it's absolutely not Warhammer related. I'm waiting for some dwarfs.
I
to
know
arrive.
what model you are referring
Yeah.
to. That
Um,
one is gonna be super cool.
It's really large.
Yeah, but it's the boat that you did your military service, like
Yeah.
in the Swedish Navy or whatever you call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And
you
it's the
can do
same-
bunny ears and Navy.
Yeah, on the
Pretty
Navy.
much what it was.
Yeah.
Swedish Navy.
But I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it's called a Navy in Swedish, but
Yeah, we have conscription in Sweden where
Mm.
it was mandatory for 18 or 19 years
Yeah.
old to do 1 year of military service.
I was the first year that skipped that. They removed
Yeah.
it the year before me, so I was the first like year that didn't have to do it.
Yeah, we were the last conscripted people in a what are they called, platoon that's been around since the 1700s or something.
Oh.
The oldest platoon in the Swedish Navy, and we were the last conscripts. So it
Mm.
felt kind of empty because we had no one to
Hand it over to.
hand it over to. But they're still around, but everyone's employed instead. But
Oh.
that's my project for now. But I'm looking on expanding my Warriors of Chaos army for next year. The armor saves is
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love when I have Lore of Metal against Warriors
Yeah.
Chaos. That is always fun.
They're Totem of Rust.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah.
nasty.
I also checked. We didn't get any questions from the last episode onto this episode. So we once again need to urge people to, if you have something to ask us, send your questions either in the comment section, or you can email us at miscasttable@gmail.com.
And
Doesn't
there are
have to be Warhammer related either.
No,
No,
it can
Can ask
be
us
be
what
anything.
weather we are having.
Yeah, and you're gonna see as well now. We're gonna start growing mustaches as well.
Yeah.
It's the 31st of October today. I have started a bit of head start, but now November comes. So are you gonna shave that and save it out again, or are you
it's the
keeping it?
31st. I might.
You might. Feels so weird to see you without a mustache since you always have it. So.
I think I'm gonna pass, but I'll see what turns out. I don't know.
I had to start early because my mother-in-law is visiting the 25th of November, and my wife just said there's no way you can have a mustache when she comes. She's like, no, that's not happening. So I started a bit early, and I had to shave it early as well. So
Is there like some social aspect about it from
she just thinks I look ugly with a mustache. I think
harsh?
yeah, I guess so. But it is a bit true. I have a
Okay.
pretty bad.
I think we're on the
mustache.
same page. It's not a beautiful sight.
No, we have pretty bad mustache growth, you
Yeah.
and me, unfortunately. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
turn out great.
No.
It's better for Andrea and Jonas, but
You did that like full.
This year I have the lampshade. Lampshade is this year. Last year it was
Horseshoe.
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 horse
Horseshoe. Horseshoe.
No, it's a horseshoe.
It's a horseshoe.
Yeah, it is a horseshoe. Yeah.
But this year it's the lampshade. It's like Burt Reynolds or the Black Cop, Beverly Hills Cop. What's his
Ed
name?
Murphy.
Yeah, Ed Murphy. I think he has
It is-
that shape.
Mm.
He has that too.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool. I can only have one style. I can't really
Yeah,
choose. It's
French.
yeah,
No.
because my beard and my mustache doesn't grow together, so it's like. It's the
But
only
it's
thing.
a name. It's the double box car. You can have. Yeah, it's called that when you have the. It's open. end,
Yeah,
it's
I
double
don't have
box
any
car.
growth here in the middle. I'm thinking about doing like a pencil mustache when you
Yeah.
shave everything just to a line.
Oh,
But yeah,
disgusting.
yeah, that's a bit sleazy, isn't it? Like I imagine a guy in like his satin like bathrobe and like a
Yeah.
pencil mustache. Yeah. So we'll see. But do anyone have any closing thoughts for today before we say goodbye to the people?
Maybe
We
summarize
have
where
a lot of tournaments coming up.
in Sweden at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do internationally, like Triple Crown. What are they going to be up to when the old world releases?
Yeah.
Because they have done some great work about the comp system.
Yeah, they have, and they might do something for Old World. Because I imagine when a new game system drops, that it will not be 100% balanced. I imagine there will be some things to iron
It's
out.
going to be fun to get into the get-go from the start, like
Yeah.
see exactly how.
And I can say that right now, that if they do like an official Warhammer tournament at Games Workshop, like a World Championship something for the Old World, I'm going. Like I'm going for sure.
But you need to like rank up there, like you need to pass the qualifiers.
You know that then you need the right bases.
Yeah, but that's gonna be fine. I have to rebase everything. I'm going. Doesn't matter
Sounds
what
solid.
happens.
Put the wife in the kitchen. Rebase the army.
Yeah,
But you have a great tag team with her, like
Yeah,
she does some of your painting.
yeah, she helps me paint. She doesn't play, but she paints. So
and
like half of my stuff is probably painted by her.
Yeah, I'm jealous when I say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Totally jealous.
Most people are when I say that.
I've
So
tried many times, but
and she like the models look great. Like
They do.
Yeah, so
yeah, it's nice to have some help. No, but going to a tournament in England has been a dream of mine for like a long time.
Yeah.
I really want to do it. So if it happens with the Old World,
yeah,
I hope at least one of you joins me.
would be really awesome. I
I
know
look
that
forward to packing them for airline travel, but
You can pick an
You-
army with not that many models.
Just
I
pick
can't.
Skaven and you just
Yeah.
dump it all into the bag.
this is my bucket.
that's something that would be really cool. Like you always heard like the tales of people playing like summoning armies, and they just have like a bucket and they just throw.
Throw on.
Yeah. But we had it. Was that in Umeå or was that in Falun? When there was a guy who just had all his models in a T-shirt, and he just put them up and had them like a bag, and he just put them down on the table and started placing them. And they were pretty nicely painted as well. It wasn't like bad painting, but he wasn't careful at all with his models.
First tournament that first tournament in Dalaslaget, there was one player who just took all the models and because it went so bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
No,
No, it would hurt my heart.
Takes so much time to paint them.
you have to bring Superglue to a tournament.
Yeah,
That's
Super glue. It needs because you are going to break something.
Yeah, you for sure.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, I borrowed models from Andrea when we went a while ago, and then when he got them back, they were glued differently. It was the mango squeaks and they came off, and I probably like swapped them around or something. So Andrea was like, "This is not the same."
What have you done? But it was fine.
Yeah. So something is gonna break. I've never come home from a tournament and all models have been fine. That's never happened to me.
No,
So
same.
Is that the last thing for today? Bring glue.
bring deodorant if you have
Yeah, that
bad
Superglue
hygiene.
works.
Take a
In a
shower
pinch.
and bring glue.
In a pinch.
yeah. But We'll catch you all in the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.